Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome at the dairy seminar of the IOF 2020 project. My name is Patrick Honkoop. I'm product manager at 365FarmNet. And before we introduce you the different solutions in the project, I would like to give a short overview of the IOF project and the objectives. So the IOF project is a European funded project by Horizon 2020 with a total budget of 35 million. It's quite a large project. There are 70 partners involved in it. There are startup companies in it, large corporates, universities, institutes. So it's really a diverse group of companies in it. We are active in 16 different countries. The project started beginning last year, beginning 2017, and it will continue for 2 more years. The objective of the project is, as the name is already saying, to test and to evaluate IoT solutions in the agricultural sector. So it is not only fundamental research, but it's more applied. So really test and validate existing system and extend it and get feedback on it. The scope is from farmer up till the customer to also create more transparency in the production and to make sure that the developed solutions fit into the existing system on the farm. We put a high effort in the uptake of existing standards, and where necessary also develop new standards. And as I mentioned, there is a high focus on getting feedback on the solutions we are developing to make sure that it's really creating a value for the farmer, for the end user, and it's also that there is a business model and that the farmer is really willing to pay for this solution. Therefore, already during the project, we do testing at different farms. The project is divided in 5 different trials. So we have the arable trial, fruit trial, dairy, which we will show you a bit more on in a few minutes, the vegetable and meat trial. And as you can see on the map, we are really spread across Europe. That means there are partners all over Europe, but as well there are farmers all over Europe to also test under different conditions the developed solutions. So today we will speak mainly about the dairy trial. The dairy trial, the aim is to test different existing sensors, develop new sensors, but also develop algorithms to create insights out of the collected data. And the motto is from grass to glass, so also to make the production process of milk more transparent. So today we will have 3 use cases that will do a presentation of the solutions, and we will start now with the grazing cow monitor use case from Belgium.
Next. Hello, thank you, Patrick. So the first we're talking about is the grazing cow monitor. We have 3 partners. The first partner is Sensolus, who developed the hardware. The second partner, I'm from ILVO, it's a research institute, and we're coordinating. And then we have Inagro, which is more into advice and network. The product we're talking about is Stick and Track. It's a product, it's a sensor developed by Sensolus, and it's in fact, it's completely self-installation. It's a sensor that tracks over a Sigfox network the position of the cows. So it's a very easy to install system. You have a tracker around the neck of the cow, and it's completely weather resistant. It has a battery life for 3 to 5 years, so no need to replace battery at all. And then it goes to a platform with which you can see different applications. In fact, the application areas, it's 3 things. It's tracking of animals who are free grazing, because it's very important to know where they are. The second one is pasture management, to see how intensively one field or part of the pasture is walked by instead of the other. And then the third one is milk from pasture, because It depends on the country you're in, but it's a good way to see the information you have to give to the authorities to prove your milk is really from pasture. The system is on computer, it can be on your mobile phone, it's Android and iOS. So where is my cow solution? In fact, you have some examples here. It's each cow individually, you can track where it is at any moment, and you can also see the journey of the cow during the day. You can also define some geo zones. For example, you can create a geo zone at the drinking bar or some geo zones in the pasture, and then you can get some, it's very important, you can get some alerts. Is my cow the last 12 hours, has it been drinking or not drinking? Where is my cow? Did it get out of a certain zone or not? Is it stuck? So different types of alerts are possible, and then the alerts are sent to you by email, so you can follow up. The feedback we get from farmers using the system for the moment is very positive, in that sense that it, first of all, optimizes the time management. If you go into free grazing of, for example, 80 cows, it's very time management to go and track on them individually all the time. With the location tracker, you can just see on your screen where the cows are, and so it reduces your time. Secondly, it reduces your stress to see if a cow is stuck or not. And thirdly, the economic value. For example, in a test period at the farm, we got 2 cows that were stuck that normally would be dead if by the sensor we hadn't got an alert that they were stuck, and so we saved them. So economic value, a cow take at least 2,500 euros, so we saved like 5,000 euros just by having a sensor with the location. Yeah, I've told this before. So thank you. If you have any questions, please come to me, and I will give the word to Leonie for the next one.
Thank you, Olivier. So thank you, everybody. My name is Leonie. I'm going to talk today about the IOF case 22.2 for Happy Cow. And we're a company called Connectera who developed the product IDA. And Connectera is a company who's specialized in artificial intelligence, and we're developing an AI which will feed the future generations. So what we did with IOF and what we're working on is that we want to prove that the approach we take on using big data and cloud computing, that we can produce insights for farmers which help them run a more efficient farm. So how do we do that? What is actually what we do? So we start with a sensor on the neck of the cow, which is monitoring the behavior. So you can think about eating, ruminating, standing, lying, walking, and it's constantly learning more behaviors. That is giving any insights, and then we ask the farmer, what do you do with that? So can you give us information if you bred the cow, if that cow is sick, if anything happened with management? We look at all the management software as well as with weather, and all that goes together in IDA's brain in order to give simple information. So there's already a lot of data on the farm, and we say that farmers don't need more data, but what they need is actionable information. So we try to make it simple. The benefits we've seen with IDA and what the farmers are giving feedback on is that for animal health, they really want to see that it's finding sick cows faster so that you can prevent that they get really clinical sick. It's a big help with labor as well. So if you have sensors and technology monitoring 24/7 your animals, it's different than with labor who are going on holiday or you not know if they show up. As well as that, with technology you can train and make sure that the data is available in the language you want. And lastly, IDA helps you with decision making. As a farmer, you make multiple decisions on a day, what you're doing, what time you milk the cows, what do you feed. But what you would like to know is if the decision you made, what is the impact and what happens? So you can ask IDA questions about showing what's going on. So the IOF 2020 pilot farms are in the locations below. The Irish one is getting up and running in December. And the results we've seen on the farm is that the cows, half of the herd which has a sensor, is performing better than the half without. So we're looking at what's going on with the herd until the end of 2020. And you see that in the time that the trial started, you see that the baseline is from 2016. The animals without the milk yield, without a sensor, are going a little bit lower in milk yield, and the cows wearing a sensor, the milk yield is going up. Furthermore, you also see that the expected calving interval is going down. So you see that the animals being monitored are faster getting pregnant again. And the other thing what you see is that there's a distinction between the animals being treated with antibiotics. And you see that the animals wearing a sensor don't get really clinically sick, so the use of antibiotics is lower, so that really shows for the farmer as well, and as well as for the consumer, that that's improving and helping. So the question, of course, a little bit, what does it do and how does it look like? So this is an example of the sensor, what you put on the neck of the cow. It doesn't really matter if you added on another sensor or where it hangs. And the information is pretty simple. So the app shows you that cows have barely eaten, and the nice thing about the AI is that it explains in plain language what's happening. So let's take a look on what it does. So here you see that the cow was barely eating and ruminating. And you see that the data is there available in case you want to have more information. And the last part is that if you don't know what's going on, so for example, when animals 24 to 48 hours are getting sick before, there's a diagnosed tool helps the guy, the farmer, or as well as the labor, taking steps on what's actually happening. And with those steps, it guides you to what's the most likely disease, and in case you indicate, the AI learns from it. Here you can ask IDA questions as well. So you can track a change that you want to know, for example, what the feed change has done. And what we've got feedback so far on the use case is that the technology works. So the farmer is showing that, hey, we pick up health problems quite nicely, cows in heat, the heat detection works good. And you see that with early detection, the treatments are shorter and as well as cheaper. And that the use of antibiotics is actually going down. So all in all, we'll be here today as well answering any questions about IDA, about Connectera and the use cases we have. And if there's any questions, just let me know. Thank you. I'll hand it over to you.